and welcome to another video on Saturday. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie O'Shea, that is me. I am owner and creator of the Card Making Academy, and all the products that I am using today I actually sell as well. They are from a company called Stampin Up. And I use them because they are quality products that coordinate really well. Now, if you want to find out more about me, you can go to www.thecardmakingacademy.co.uk. I have a blog with ideas on there. I have courses and classes and kits and all sorts of things on there. So finding out more about me is easy to do if you go there. But if you want to go directly to the shop, and you are seeing the products that I'm using today and you're like, I must have that and I must have it now, then if you go to www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net, you will find them. Plus you'll find the details and direct links to them in the description here as well, depending on where you are watching it. So I'm going to go straight on. I'm going to try and make these shorter. I do a Facebook Live every Wednesday on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Card Making Academy. And you can find me there every Wednesday, but I'm hoping that these are going to be shorter. So let's kind of move on here. So this is the card we're actually going to be making today. So super simple, just lots of layers. And the products that I'm going to be using and what I'm featuring all this month, which is March 2021, depending on when you're watching this, are these products here. So this product bundle here is a stamp set and a die set. That you can either purchase individually or as a bundle with 10% off. And there's also some papers as well there. I've just realised there's a hair there, get rid of that. Some papers as well. And I just wanted to kind of show you that as well as all these skeleton dies here that you also get this die here, which cuts out that stamp set, which is actually one single stamp in one go. But it also cuts out the paper here as well. And that's actually what I'm using today as well. I like to make the Card Making Academy all about non-crafty tech language and all quite simple things. So I'm hoping that you can take from this card, there's a variety of things you can take from this card. You could like the colour combination. So this is our colours, Calypso Coral and So Saffron, and actually there's some Mango Melody as the darker yellow on there as well. But these all coordinate perfectly together. And as you can see, the orange or coral in this pattern paper here coordinates perfectly with that that cardstock there as well, and all of that. So I sell everything from the card to the pattern papers to the dies to the stamp sets to the paper to even these little gems that go down the centre of here. So this is what we're going to make. So as I say, if you want to find out more about these, I went in through them on a video last week, or you can have a look at my blog as well. There's a post on there with more details. So I'm not going to do that today, because we're going to go straight into making the card. And to say, Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. Here's all my bits and pieces. So hopefully this is a card that is good for a beginner card maker as well, because you don't need too many bits here. So I have a piece of, if you can imagine, I've cut it the wrong way so I can't do that. This was a piece of A4 card, and I just cut it in half horizontally that way. And I'm going to fold it in half to create my card base. Now some people would score down the middle to make a kind of a dent, a fold line. I can never get those right, so I just go corner to corner and corner to corner. And when I'm happy, I get my bone folder and just make my fold. That's it. That's a perfect fold. The card is flat. Everything is good with the world. Now I did cut all these out, so I have... and again, you can do this whichever way you want. So I've done a card that way, but actually the sample is that way. So that happens if you cut an A4 piece of paper down the short side in the middle at 10.5. It's 21 across. If you cut 10.5 down, that will give you that kind of card. And it could be that way, and you could do it that way, or it could be like we've got here. But I'm just doing the other way today. And I've got a layer of a black card, followed by a layer of the pattern paper. Now I don't know if you noticed here, but what I actually did, this was kind of more yellow here and more coral there, and I did the opposite for these. So this is more of the yellow, the So Saffron here, and this is more of the coral down here. So I could have switched it round and it would have been very corally this way and very So Saffron that way. But I thought I'd alternate. So it depends on how you cut your paper. as to how it comes out. But I've got a bit of half and half there. But this piece here is a little bit. I'm going to go like that, or I might go like that. Who knows? But I've got a layer of the pattern paper here. Now I do have a PDF that you can sign up for that has all the measurements. I don't tend to give measurements in my videos because I'm bound to get them wrong. So I have a PDF with pictures and a video, and if you sign up to my mailing list you can get those. And the link is in the description. So another layer there, another layer there, and another layer there. So actually I'm just going to go and stick all those together to start with. So if you've watched a video of mine before, you know I like this multi-purpose adhesive. So lots of layers. You'll also know that I'm a little bit OCD about liking, because there's black in the butterfly, then in my eyes I've got to have some black somewhere as well. So I normally include colours with layers. I mean, that's one of the backs of pattern papers as well. In fact, that's beautiful. I haven't used that bit yet. So I'm going to go that way. And I've just left a little border round, so it's not a big border, but it will do the job. So again, let's do that to that. Now I have actually raised up that central panel, so you can stick it flat, especially if you're going to post it. You might think about, or want to think about, how thick you make your cards, because obviously oh, she says that, no, that goes in there, that's why. The thicker you make your cards, the more expensive they are to post. So on here, I've actually used some dimensionals. She says I've just run out of my last pack. Oh, is this? Oh, do you know what? I use black ones, it doesn't matter. So these are just foam pieces, double-sided, so sticky on both sides. That'll do. I need to find my white ones, to be fair. Not for this card though. And so I'm peeling off this backing, and this leaves a sticky side as well. So I'm just going to try and centralise this. I'm using my grid paper to make sure that's as straight as I can be. And then I'm trying to make sure that border and that border is the same, and that border and that border is the same, or as close as I can with my eyes. And bearing in mind I'm not looking directly over it, I'm hoping I do a reasonable job. There we go. Okay. And then I've got my piece of pattern paper. So just lots of layers can add interest to your card. It can incorporate all the colours that you want. Let's go the coral with the coral this time. I bet you didn't even notice, did you? And then what I did was this butterfly, beautiful as he is, as you can see, he's cut straight out of that piece of pattern paper. So if I didn't have the dies, I could cut him out by hand. If you've got other butterfly stamps, or to be fair, this could be a central image with anything on it. If you've got a nice flower spray or a bird or anything that you want to. But we are showing these off because these are an early release from the upcoming catalogue. Well, the dies in the stamp set are. These papers are actually limited edition. Depending on when you're watching this, we are currently in March, and these are exclusive until May the 3rd. So March, April you can get them in the first few days of May, but then they'll be gone. And who doesn't love these? In fact, I think nearly all the cards I've made this month for my Saturday cards, so 3 out of the 4 all use these butterflies that have been cut out. So up to you. So you don't need the dies, you could have something else. You may have other butterfly punches or stamps or anything like that. Anything you want the focal points to be. So I run that through my die cutting machine, and he is, because obviously it's a he, he is just stuck down flat. Make sure that these little sticky bits that can catch if they're not stuck down properly go in. So that's that. There we go. And I'm going to try and centralise him as much as I can. And that's why that Tombow is good, because it just gives me that little bit of wiggle room. And now that's stuck down. Now if you saw my card last week, she says, trying to grab it. Ooh. You can see that I've used vellum that is exactly the same size as these two butterflies. But actually this one, I'm going to use a slightly different size. So I could, let me just show you, this is the big butterfly, and I could put that over there like that, but actually I want to show some more of the colour off. So what I did is I took one of the skeleton dies that comes in that set. So, oh, she says, oh, hey, here they are. Which one did I use? Did I use that one? That one. And I've just run that through my die cutting machine with some vellum. So vellum is like thick tracing paper, if you like. And just because then it shows, doesn't matter that it's not exactly the same shape. I mean, I could have gone that one as well, to be fair. And that would have been that sort of look. Entirely up to you, but I went this one. And so it just shows, let's move all those out of the way. It just shows a bit of the colour off each side. And obviously it is, say, like tracing paper, so it does show through. So I'm going to just put a bit of glue down the centre. I want the wings to stay up. If I did want to stick the wings down, I could just do tiny little dots around there. But I don't. I'm quite happy that the wings stay up a little bit. And I want to try and centralise that as much as I can. There we go. Now that glue does dry clear, but it is quite hard to get anything to dry completely clear behind vellum. But that doesn't matter, because what we've done is we've got gems going along there. So I have these elegant faceted gems. I mean, the pink is gorgeous, but I'm not sure it would go. So I've used these, I've used clear ones and then these white ones as well, and I've alternated. So I have my take your pick tool that's got some putty on the end there, and they will just help. These are self-adhesive, so I'm just going to go down and pick some small ones. I slide them. I say these are self-adhesive, so I can just plonk, being the technical term, a plonk, these down. So I'm a bit of a tweezer girl normally, so I normally would have used tweezers for these. But I do love me take your pick tool as well. Hold on, and then you can tweak that, and a bit more putty comes out. You can get putty refills as well. And then one more. Not really out of these. I'll have to start using the pink ones. There we go. So that's alternated. So they look quite frosted. So you've got some clear ones. Can you see those there? Let's see if I can. Put a bit more light on there that you can see. Maybe if I do that. Oh, there we go. So see those? Clears and frosted ones. Okay. And then I've already done my little bit of blue Peter. And I showed how to do this in last week's video. So if you don't know how to, it's called heat embossing. If you don't know how to heat emboss, then have a look back at last week's video. But in a nutshell, you basically get a piece of white card, get a Versamark ink pad, which is glycerin based, stamp. This is super quick, I wasn't intending on doing this. Stamp that, put your white embossing powder, that's sticky. I'm going to get this everywhere. So white embossing powder. I did tell you to use a embossing buddy last week, but look, there we go. And then that is powder is just stuck to those words, and then I heat it. And you can see, hopefully, again, I might move that light up. So can you see that that is just the powder on the sentiment, but that's when it's been melted. In fact, come on then, let's do it quickly. Gonna turn the noise down. Can you see that? And when it heats up enough, it starts going brilliant white. And you can see the powder melt. There you go. As soon as that's melted, you leave it. Now, so I did show you properly how to use an embossing buddy before you got started, how to flick off the bits that get stuck, and all of that last week. But that powder has now melted, and it's now raised and embossed. So that's why it's called heat embossing. And don't use a hairdryer, it has to be a heat tool, because that hairdryer isn't hot enough, and please don't use a heat tool on your hair either. But that's it, so that's your sentiment. And I just stuck that on. And again, I just added some glue to this half here, because that's the bit that's sticking off. I could add a dimensional on here if I wanted to. And if perhaps it was a bit longer, I might do, but it's not. Does it matter that it flicks like that? No. But if you were worried, you could get, she says, oh, there they are. You could get a dimensional because that layer's dimensioned up. It just means that it wouldn't be flapping around so much. So there we go. You could do that as well. And that's it. That's our super quick card for today. Thanks for joining me. If you don't subscribe to either of my channels, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please do, because then you'll be notified when I update another video. I'm on my Facebook Live every Wednesday at midday, and now, as from March, I'm updating these videos on a Saturday as well. So twice a week I'm coming to you now. So I will leave you there. All details and instructions of how you can contact me and anything else you need to know are in the description, so check them out, as are the links to any of these products if you love them as much as me. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back on Wednesday or next Saturday. I'll see you then. Bye.